Hi, welcome to Make, Grow, Flourish and 10 top tips on creative development with me, Caroline Jackman, founder of Creative Business Growth. I am a freelance business trainer, consultant, and coach, and I'm here to support your needs. I look forward to sharing my top tips today. Number one, reflect. I think before you can move forward, I always believe and reflect on the journey that you've achieved already. You may be surprised at how far you've come. And I know for me, I have lots of sketchbooks as well as past work, and just flicking through these, you're like, wow, okay, yeah, I've achieved a lot with my skills, my ideas, and my development. Also reflect back on your training that you've learnt so far. Take pride in your creativity. Take pride in the skills, and this will help you think forward and ask yourself the time of what's next for me? What is next for you? Is that around a new course to encourage new skills development, or maybe applying for a competition to work towards a deadline? But to help you make these decisions, reflect back first. Second, a critical friend is a true friend indeed. And this will really help you identify what works well, what you could do differently, and that can generate some ideas of what might come up for you to enable you to really push forward. So who could this critical friend be? Could they be a trusted individual that you look up to, like a mentor? Could they be somebody that you've worked with or always wanted to work with, a peer group member potentially, somebody that you've been on a course with? Could you reach out to them? Or maybe there is somebody that could help you really work it out for yourself through coaching. Is there somebody in the craft industry that can really help you unpick what is meaningful within your work, what has worked well, what is more challenging, and what you could do differently? So who is your potential critical friend? Power of repeat. I like this saying because there is so much power in this process of repeat, repeat, repeat. Practice makes perfect. And, you know, if you are a potter or a glass artist or a printmaker or a leather worker, think about the skills you've really developed and honed over time. How have you managed to do that? You've been practicing. You know, just like a concert pianist, they would say, I really need to hone my craft as a pianist. And they would repeat and practice, practice some more all the time, no matter what level you're at. Because to really hone those skills, to really push those skills, is something that is required to be practiced at it. You know, whether you are a qualified sportsman, you know, professional sportsman, they'll be practicing all the time. So the power of repeat will really help you with your creative development. Try something different. This really helps you step away from what you are potentially doing now. And if you're a little bit stuck, sometimes we have a bit of block in our minds of, I don't really know if this is working for me. My creative skills are not really been generating some ideas. So how can you step away? And by doing something different, this can help you see more clearly, give you a new perspective, and generate some new ideas. Sometimes, though, be prepared that you might not use this particular technique in your work going forward, but it's worth stepping away to generate ideas to help you move forward with your creative development. A role model can really help you move forward. So who inspires you? And I really want you to think about the techniques that they use, those particular skills that they have. Is it somebody that inspires you through the designs that they come up with, the innovations, new materials that they use, the fact that they really perfected the technique in their chosen medium of practice? This can really help you challenge yourself and push your ideas forward. If you are inspired by being collected, or your work's being collected by a museum, for example, or there is a big award that you really want to be selected for, and the museums or awards, who are they choosing? What is it about those particular artists and makers that shows that quality of technique, innovation, ideas, design? What is it about them? And can you challenge yourself to push yourself to the next level? So who is your role model? Inspiration. And I mean this in the broadest sense. This could be going to your national museum and seeing something different. If your area of practice is around ceramics, going to see a painter could sort of generate ideas in new contexts and concepts that can inspire your ideas and work going forward. So think about what's local to you, or treat yourself to spending a day out, going out to somewhere that's a little further away, but they've got a really interesting show on. And also maybe do a little bit of online research to really make the most of that time, because I appreciate time is precious and time is also money, but it can really sort of generate some ideas for you, and think differently about your practice can help generate some new ideas about new practices to try, new mediums to try, and really broaden those ideas. And I think sometimes we can work so much in isolation that we forget that inspiration comes from those things that are around us. So even going out to events or public gardens, or even architectural buildings of significance, whether they're places of worship or even something a little bit more industrial, what inspires you to really fuel concepts and broaden your ideas? Put your work in a different environment. This can again generate ideas for your creative development and see your work differently. I love this particular image here. It is by Patricia Miller, who is a ceramicist based in Ireland, and placing her work in the landscape and photographing it can really demonstrate that narrative behind the work. And so therefore you're also sharing with others the storytelling that you have, what inspires you, whether it's in the natural environment or in amongst quite brutalist architecture. Think about those different environments, and don't just try one, try several. Could be out by the ocean, or like I said, architecture, natural environment, in amongst the trees. If you do textiles, could you wrap it around a trunk of a tree? What does it look like? And that can really inspire some new ideas. And like I say, generate some useful content that you can share with others to gain some feedback. Sketchbooks are your friends. And I learned this from a very early age, actually from my art teacher at the time. When you're out and about traveling, whether you are taking some time out or just a general journey, Jotting down some ideas that come to your mind whilst you're on your travels can really help fuel you now and in the future. Or you could be at an exhibition or, say, on a visit to an event. On the spot ideas that come to your mind, jot them down rather than putting them maybe not in your digital phone, putting them in a little sketchbook so you can easily reflect back later. Back to my first point. I can also help with the problem solving, especially if you've got a block in your mind. Invest in skills. This is super important. And back to one of my earlier points about practice, because we never stop learning. So I want to encourage us all to be more curious, within our own actual skills of making, but be curious in what we read, what other people are saying, the questions that come up for us. And have a training plan. Have a plan that is something that isn't always just for what's going to happen right now, but also in the future. So it might be a little short course now that you do, and maybe something longer in the future, or maybe even going to do a studio visit with another artist and maker, and getting curious to how do they do their practice? What are the techniques that you can learn? Always set a training plan and have a bit of investment behind that, because you want to invest in yourself to push your skills and ideas forward. With this, though, with your training plan, if you are sort of seeing, okay, for the next three months, I'm going to really hone my skills, say, in wood turning, allow those ideas to land for you. Don't think necessarily that you're going to come up with all the answers at the end of this training. Allow them to land, keep practicing, and then more ideas will generate, and honing that craftsmanship will come through. And finally, be prepared to be wrong. And I'm using these particular words from Sir Ken Robinson, who said, if you're not prepared to be wrong, you will never come up with something original. So embrace any failures that might come your way. If you're sort of nervous about trying something new, try not to be. Embrace it. Embrace to be wrong, and you'll find that a lot of the time you will come out with something really fantastic. And embracing those fantastic mistakes that push your processes and ideas forward. Thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed my 10 top tips on creative development, and good luck with your creative journey.